It's interesting. I was talking, and this was not a shot at LeBron, but LeBron's in year 19. You don't get a full schedule. I'm not trading LeBron to Cleveland, so Cleveland could give up Darius Garland and Colin Sexton and Jared Allen, all these pieces. There's no way I'd do that. Absolutely no way. Cleveland's got a great future. The next 5 or 6 years for the Cavs are going to be so fun if you live in that city. You got a title with LeBron, that's great. Let's get a title with the new guys. That's fun too. And this is not a knock on LeBron. If I was the Chargers, I would not get rid of Justin Herbert for 2 years of Tom Brady. I'm just not going to do that. So Tom Brady changes the temperature in the room. So, this is not a shot at any individual player, but you can be great, and I know you'd be better for my team briefly. But part of the fun of sports is a community building together, and I think fans really love that process. That's why I think college fans struggle with the transfer portal. There's so much mobility. Fans like rooting for guys over and over and over. And so mobility is good for me, and it's good for maybe the individual player. Mobility is not always great for sports and brands. It's not. Ric Bucher covering the league since the early 90s, Fox Sports NBA analyst. I said this earlier, Michael Jordan's the most popular ex-athlete in America for a lot of reasons. He was good-looking, He was glamorous, he won. But I do think he does things that we sort of miss. He was parochial, he was petty, it was all about winning, he was loyal, he put his head down through adversity. He hated the Pistons like Chicago fans hated the Pistons. Like that, he was so petty, and fans can be petty. And that's my takeaway on Michael, is that a lot of what he symbolized is what we kind of miss a little bit about the NBA. Am I wrong on that, or does it land for you like that?
No, I think there are a lot of fans that certainly see him in a golden light of what once was and how guys operated. I also believe that Jordan has done a great job of positioning himself in. Look, he's still an owner of the NBA. He could have as much exposure as he wants, and yet he has kept a relatively low profile. What we have seen of him, we saw through The Last Dance. So he's been able to package exactly how much we've seen. And I think it's the case with any number of players in that the more you put yourself out there, I could say the same for Charles Barkley, the more you put yourself out there, the more you give fans material to pick at and find fault with. And Jordan simply hasn't done that. So he left in a golden light. Maybe he may be in a more golden light now than he was when he left the league, because we completely forget about the Washington Wizards, right? We've gone straight. We just go straight back to the Bulls.
Right.
Thanks in part to The Last Dance, but thanks in part because Jordan has maintained that low profile and has created that brand, and he's allowed it to speak for itself. But I do believe you're right. Like, Cleveland fans have every reason not to like Michael Jordan. Yet they're like, but we like what you represent.
Yeah. So Klutch Sports, it's whenever people don't get what they want, big rich people or public figures, they go to the press. And so now, the Klutch Sports people wanted to trade at the deadline. They didn't get it. And now, story comes out, they're not happy with Rob Pelinka. And I'm sure
for a second there, I thought you were talking about yourself, Colin. But go ahead.
And I'm sure the Lakers, by the way, are feeding their media people. They want stuff out. So your takeaway on the fact that LeBron and his people are not happy with the Lakers front office. What's your take?
Not surprised, but this is part and parcel that comes with working with Klutch Agency, and GMs will not say it publicly. They're even a little scared to say it privately, but this is one of the reasons why they are reluctant. They know the talent that the Klutch Agency has, but they know the price that comes with it, which is they're a little bit like the black Spider-Man suit. They want to get in on everything, and they want to control everything. And so this is not a surprise, and everybody knows that if you're going to work with LeBron and you're going to work with his people, if things go sideways, it's going to fall on you, even if you are doing what they are asking you to do. So this comes as no surprise, and I would say it ties in with the idea of who's going to go after LeBron when he's looking to move on and play with Bronny 2.5 years from now.
Yeah.
Is the price that you're going to have to pay to deal with Klutch, and let's make no mistake, LeBron is a high-maintenance player. Yeah. He's always been worth it, But there's no question. There's a high price tag that comes with that, and not just in salary. Our team's going to be willing to do that.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I can't tell you how many GMs I've talked to about various players that they were interested in. Ben Simmons, for example. And it was, I got to be careful how I do this because I'm going to have to deal with Klutch either with this player or they may have one of my own players, and that can be a difficult relationship. Now, there's people that will say, hey, that's what your agent is supposed to be. He's supposed to be difficult. He's supposed to be demanding. But there's a way to find that middle ground where people aren't reluctant to work with you because of the demands that you make.
You know, it's interesting. I heard this quote. LeBron said, don't close the door on Cleveland. And my takeaway is, well, Cleveland's got all these young players. They're all ascending. They're fun. They can score. I'm not saying why is the door open to Cleveland? Dan Gilbert's got no interest to let LeBron have the franchise. When LeBron said that, my takeaway was, that's a little delusional. If I was Cleveland, I got LeVert now and Jared Allen now and Garland now and Sexton's hurt but back. I'm thinking, Mobley, by the way, is going to win Rookie of the Year. I'm thinking, there's no way they're not going to. I mean, that to me sounded like LeBron was tone deaf. Like he thinks Cleveland will take him back. I do not at all. Do you?
I think he meant it as a compliment. I think he meant it like, hey, we could get together again. And I don't know, it's like the girlfriend you jilted twice. Hey, you know what? I think we should get back together. She might not be so excited about that, especially when I think about how LeBron left that franchise the last two times. Yes, he brought a championship, and that means the world to the people in Cleveland and to the Cavaliers. But he didn't leave them in very good shape.
That's right.
And now you're talking about getting a 40-year-old LeBron who's going to be there for how long? And again, he's saying he'd go for any amount of money, but it's a matter of the imprint that he makes. It's the footprint, as you say, takes up a lot of oxygen in the room. And this is the flip side of it, though. 2.5 years from now, I'm not sure that it makes sense for any team more than it makes sense for Cleveland. Because what are you getting? I don't care if you're the Washington Wizards or the Sacramento Kings or the Charlotte Hornets. Renting LeBron James for 1 year, what does it really get you? How much does it really change your franchise? How much would you move in order to make that happen? At least with Cleveland, you have the hearkening of the good old days, the good times, the son coming, the prodigal son coming home once again. Like
right.
I can at least see a narrative that I could sell if I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers and make my fans feel good about it. I don't know that the Charlotte Hornet fans are going to be that thrilled to get a 40-year-old LeBron, especially if it means that you're also drafting Bronny.
Finally, Zion Williamson. This thing's gotten weird and ugly, and C.J. McCullough says, I'm a new player here, and nobody's called me, including Zion. We got about a minute here.
Yeah.
That seems like he is just completely Zion's disengaged from the franchise. That's my read on it. Is that true?
That's what I've been hearing for the last couple of months. He is rehabbing up in Portland. He hasn't been communicating with the team on a regular basis. They haven't really known exactly what's going on. I mean, even the injury over the summer, like that came as a surprise to New Orleans. They don't have regular exchanges, and a lot of people are interpreting that and speculating that is an indication that Zion doesn't want to be there. And I have heard that there are people around Zion who believe he's too big of a star for New Orleans, that he needs to go someplace else. What's going to be very interesting is New Orleans wants to, in spite of all that, they absolutely have to re-sign him. He's a number one pick. I've been told that what they'll do is, because of the injuries, they'll try to load it up much like Joel Embiid's contract with Philadelphia. It's going to be like a 35-page contract that covers all of the injury possibilities. To do that, though, you need to have a relationship to negotiate something like that. And that's where it's going to get very, very interesting.
All right, Ric Bucher covering the league for a long time. Podcast On the Ball with Ric Bucher, as always. I just love seeing MJ get the big cheer. I don't know why that just tickled me.
Yeah.
Buke's great seeing you again, my man.